Hey guys, and we are on Snowy Bridge today. So let's go. So we're gonna be meeting some familiar faces in this level. As you can see here, these are the ninjas, the dark ninjas that we fought back in the Opera House level. Now these guys are kind of different this time around because they wield swords, and as such they like to approach you with melee attacks rather than staying back and shooting you with a bamboo pipe or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, they don't shoot darts this time. Instead they charge at you with swords, so it kind of makes them easier in theory, but it actually makes them a lot tougher because they can also throw a knife projectile at any moment. And this can be a lot more difficult to predict than the bamboo shots, so you have to be careful, as these ninjas are a lot more aggressive than the ninjas in the Opera House level. So yeah, you don't want to get the ammo straight away, even though it's back here. You want to go back and get it, because if you don't go back and get it, then the enemies will get too close, and yeah, it can be a little bit more tricky on. It'll be a little more tricky dealing with them, as you can't really use the Painkiller to deal with them effectively. So here's the first secret of the level. There's several secrets, and I'm going to show them all this time around because, well, I need to, and they're kind of easy. And yeah, let's put it this way: if you're playing on Trauma, you want to get every single secret, pretty much, particularly the ones that give you health and armor, and there's plenty of them in this level. So yeah. The next section, you want to use the Painkiller combo. Now, you don't have to do this, but I think this is the best way of dealing with them, and probably the most satisfying way of dealing with them. Now, if you want to, you can blow up the barrels and just kill them all with a chain reaction, but what's the fun in that? I want to use the Painkiller combo so that I can deal with multiple enemies at once, as you can see there. So, yeah, there's many ways that you can approach this, but I think the Painkiller combo is probably the best. Regardless, you want to use the Painkiller anyways, because it saves ammo, so whatever floats your boat, I guess. But yeah, this is what I feel to be the most effective way of dealing with the enemies here. Now, once you've done that, once you've dealt with those enemies, keep moving forward, and eventually the compass will turn, and that's your cue to leave a Painkiller warhead, so that you can use the laser to take out the enemies that are coming towards you. And yeah, I'm baiting them here by not having a laser. This makes them think it's safe, and oh no. Look at that. Yeah, they're straight in that laser. And yeah, you just want to do that until they stop coming, and eventually, I'm not sure if this guy wants to try it, but oh, he does. Yeah, that made me jump. I saw that. But yeah, you want to do that. Kill all the enemies that are coming at you, because it's a lot easier to utilize the Painkiller on this section. And be careful over here, because this guy, well, not this guy just came out of nowhere, but this guy likes to throw knives, and he is deadly, but by destroying those petrol cans or whatever they are, you're able to kill him pretty easily without even knowing he was there. So yeah, this guy, as you can see, he's throwing knives, and you want to be careful, because yeah, he's kind of different from the other guys, and like I say, you don't want to get hit by knives. And for this bit, you just want to use the shotgun. Go straight from the Stakegun, which I'd say is the best to deal with that guy, to the shotgun, and just basically just mow them down with the shotgun, recklessly if you have to, because they're going to be charging at you. They're not going to throw knives because they're coming down the stairs. I don't know, but it seems that some of them throw knives, some of them don't. But it's very hard to tell which do and which don't. But I can't confirm this, since they all look the same to me, and usually I don't have time to look at them to see what they're doing. This is a shoot first, ask questions later level, so you really want to make sure you place those Stakegun shots perfectly, so you can hit them before they can do anything. Yeah, like that guy was throwing knives, but he also had a sword, so they all have different behaviour patterns, and sometimes I like to mix things up. So they're a lot less predictable than the ninjas from the Opera House level. Anyways, here's the second secret, which, to get around, you have to I think the top way is the best, by the way, but you can take the bottom way if you want, but you have to kind of go around the building. I like to bunny hop my way around it, but it's just the way I think is the easiest way to do it. Anyways, just ignore those enemies, you'll encounter them soon enough, and just jump down this little thing that holds the bridge up. And we're getting to quite possibly my least favourite part of this level, which is the bridge itself. Now, if you notice, there's ice all around the bridge. Now, it's a lot harder than it looks, believe me, because bunny hopping on this bridge is an absolute nightmare. But you'll need to do it because the enemies are very quick, and if you don't do it, you're going to get swarmed by enemies, and you don't want that to happen. So, first of all, I'm going to, as you can see me shooting wildly here, I'm going to shoot all of the barrels. Why? Because these barrels are deadly. You don't want them around, because even though they can be helpful when it comes to dealing with groups of enemies, they tend to pose more harm to the player than they do to the enemies. At least to me they do. But yeah, as you can see, these are the evil samurai, but this time, instead of wielding katanas, they wield naganatas. I think that's how you pronounce it, naganatas. But yeah, use the grenade launcher if you need to, as it is pretty nice at dealing with these nasty swarms. But yeah, the evil samurai are still pretty deadly, just like they were before. That was a really nice shot, by the way. So you want to be careful as to how you approach them. They like to use a ice attack, which can hit you from long range, but these guys don't want to do it right now. They just want to charge at me with the naganatas for some reason. But yes, this is the Electrodriver, in case I didn't mention it before. It's an automatic weapon that shoots shurikens and lightning. Now, it's kind of a mid-range to close-range weapon. It basically, if you can't use the shotgun for whatever reason, and the enemies are up close, the Electrodriver is probably the best. And this little section, you might want to swap between the Electrodriver and the Stakegun and the shotgun. Pretty much all three of the weapons, because they're all really handy on this bit. If they get too close, it's probably best to use the Electrodriver, especially if you can't bunny hop for whatever reason, or you are just swarmed with tons of enemies, because the good thing about the Electrodriver is that it is automatic, and as such, you don't need to worry about missing enemies, as you can just plow through them with tons and tons of shurikens. So if you miss, then it's not a big deal, if that makes sense, since you're sending streams of shurikens at the enemies. And in a way, the fact that it's the first automatic weapon is a pretty big deal in this game. And in a way, the shotgun and the Stakegun, you will use them a lot more than the Electrodriver in some cases, just simply because they are so straightforward and basic. But in some cases, you might want to swap to the Electrodriver, as it allows you to... It basically allows you to deal with enemies more effectively than having to rely on making sure you hit them, as it's very difficult to hit the enemies, and the enemies tend, like as I say, they charge at you. But as you can see here, I'm shooting with a Stakegun, so they tend to charge from quite far. And the Stakegun isn't the most reliable weapon for this section, because there's enemies coming from all sides, and it's difficult to keep your distance when the enemies are charging towards you. So the Electrodriver is probably a good alternative if you really need to pull it out, but it depends on whether you want to pull it out. Like I say, it's a really effective weapon, but the damage it deals is considerably lower than that of the shotgun and the Stakegun. It's not a one-shot kill, but it's still very effective in a pinch. Now, so far you've seen the shurikens and you've seen the lightning. Now, the lightning is very powerful, and I think a lot of people underestimate the power of the lightning, as it deals a lot of damage up close, and it's not quite useful yet, even though it kind of is. It's kind of overkill at this point in the game, but it is still pretty useful in a pinch, though I would personally recommend conserving your electro ammo whenever possible, because, well, I'm not going to be able to show it to you in this level, but I will probably show it to you later on, as the Electrodriver, much like the Painkiller, has a combo attack, which basically means like using the left mouse button and the right mouse button simultaneously, or using the left mouse button, then the right mouse button. That's how I usually do it. And the combo shoots an electrified shuriken, which basically, it's the most effective it's the most effective way of dealing with enemies up close, pretty much. But it costs a lot of ammo, so you want to be careful. But ultimately, the Electrodriver is the ultimate close-range weapon. And yeah, you want to make sure you grab that health because you're going to need it soon. Yeah, it's the ultimate close-range weapon, or close to mid-range weapon, you could argue, but it's mainly specialised in close-range combat. It basically does what the shotgun can't. And while the shotgun is very powerful, when you get overwhelmed by tons of enemies, it's pretty difficult to utilise the shotgun effectively against massive hordes of enemies up close, whereas the Electrodriver is very useful. Both the driver and the Electro combo is really handy against large hordes of enemies up close, and it does what the grenade launcher can in the sense that you can attack up close, whereas the grenade launcher, if you shoot that up close, you're going to get hit by the grenade, so you want to avoid hitting enemies too close to you with the grenade launcher, as it can have some repercussions. So, believe me, I've done it before and it's not very nice. It's not very pretty. Look at what happened in Asylum. As you can see, explosives are very powerful and not to be messed with in Painkiller. And yeah, that's why I screwed up in Asylum and hit myself, because the grenade bounced off the wall and went straight in the corner of the wall. I didn't know it was there because I couldn't see through the wall, but if I knew it was there, believe me, I would have moved out of the way, because I would, like, I would have known. Well, I didn't know at the time that I was actually going to get blown up by it, because I thought the wall would cushion the blow, but it didn't. Anyways, yeah, there's more secrets in this tower, don't forget it, because especially the armor's going to be really handy in later parts of this level. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of secrets in this level. So yeah, you want to go upstairs and get on the little gondola ride, or not, which you're going to see me not do, because if you get on the gondola ride, then you are vulnerable to getting hit. But in a way, it is, as you can see, well, I don't know what I'm doing here, but yeah, as you can see with that little wooden thing with wheels, yeah, that's the first moving platform in Painkiller. Now, I think it's the only moving platform in the original Painkiller, or as I like to call the gondola ride. But yeah, it basically sends you automatically towards where the next area is, and you don't want to go that way because you want to go this way, and there's reasons why. You're going to see why in a minute. I don't know why I fell down there, but yeah, as you can see, the door opens and they place barrels in your way. You don't want to get hit by those barrels, so you want to take out these enemies from afar to avoid getting hit. And as you can see, my Stakegun skills still haven't improved from previous episodes, so you get to watch me fail with the Stakegun again. And I finally got the hit. You just have to put it just over their heads, usually, if you're going to arc it from the range. It's a bit complicated, is the Stakegun, because, and in a way that's why I kind of like the weapon, because unlike a sniper rifle in the first-person shooter, like, sniper rifle bullets don't arc, they just shoot directly where you're aiming at, so it's a lot easier to aim at long range. But the Stakegun is probably the hardest weapon in video game history to actually hit from long range. That is a long range weapon. What I mean by that is it's a long range weapon, so, but it's very hard to use at long range. So it's a weapon that requires, well, demands a lot of skill. Now, you can completely avoid that area by just sneaking through there, and I recommend you do that so you can get this secret over here. And it's just behind this wall here. And you want to get this secret because, as you can see, I have no shotgun ammo, and you've got to have shotgun ammo in this level, especially the freezer ammo. That's going to be very handy. Well, it can come in handy, especially in the later section, but yeah, you want to go around here, and there's going to be a lot of enemies in this area, and you're going to have to use the Stakegun, and this is where it gets pretty challenging because, as you can tell, I'm not very good with the Stakegun, so I'm going to get my ass handed to me here and miss a lot of hits. But I did get that guy. But yeah, there's enemies that are on high platforms far away, and you can't hit them up close, so you really have to hit them with a ranged weapon. As you can see here, I just got that guy, but I was lucky. And there's a guy up here as well. Yeah, I just got that guy as well. I'm impressed with myself for actually having accomplished that. But yeah, this is where the grenades will come in handy, because It's a lot easier, in my opinion, to attack from this section than to attack from the bottom, at least at the first part, because there's just tons of enemies and you don't really have much leg room, so it's just a lot easier to use the grenade launcher and hit them while they're all below. And this guy is throwing knives, as you can see, so you want to dodge them and shoot them, and just having a little stake match with him. It's kind of like, yeah, this is going to take a while, but yeah, it's kind of like a stake duel or a long-range duel with this guy, and it's going to, oh, I finally won. It's about time too, so yeah. Yeah, you want to watch out for that, because that's the other attack that the Dark Ninjas can do. Instead of shooting fireballs, they shoot ice crosses or something. They're a lot easier to predict, but as you can see, I couldn't see them using the animation there, so it's a lot more difficult to deal with when you can't see the animation. But yeah, I got hit by one there, and I hit that guy in the head, hit that guy in the head as well, and yeah, like, he jumped down, but for some reason he can't jump back up again. Now you do want to be careful, because enemies for some reason can come from behind, like that guy, as you can see. So you wanna make sure that you're aware of what's going on in your surroundings. Now you're probably wondering, why don't you go back up there and avoid all this? Well, actually I'm not sure you can. There is a grating in it which kind of prevents you from moving on, kind of. But I'm not too sure, because I haven't tried it myself. But besides, I just want to kill all these enemies, like, and not get hit by ninjas. But yeah, it's kind of silly how I'm dealing with these guys, because they're all down there, and I'm just shooting random grenades and hoping that they hit them, because I can't see them. But I am using the Stakegun as well. Like, you will use the Stakegun a lot in this level. Probably more than you'll use it in the first chapter. Like, the first chapter you'll be using a lot of shotguns, but in this chapter you'll find yourself using a lot of the Stakegun, really, and it really gets its time to shine in chapter 2, does the Stakegun. But yeah, we're going to be throwing some grenades, because this is probably the best time to use the grenade launcher in this level. Well, there are other good times, but this is one of the better times to use a grenade launcher, and why not? It deals with packs of enemies, and there are a lot of enemies in this area. Now, I decide I'm not going to go that way, even though I could, but actually I don't think I can. But yeah, I'm just going to kill all these enemies, because why not? And yeah, I'm just waiting for him to get in the way, and I just missed him there, but I got hit by another ice thing. Yeah, I'm doing quite badly, to be honest. I really shouldn't be doing this badly on this section and getting hit so much. It defeats the purpose of actually being up here and not being able to be hit, because I'm getting hit all the time. So maybe this strategy isn't the best strategy, but this is the strategy that I use in this section. And yeah, I'm basically just looking for enemies, and yeah, they're just basically running into the wall, so I just think, fuck it, let's just go, and I go back down to the bottom, blow that thing up to kill him, and yeah, there's this guy up here, stake him, and yeah, if you ride the gondola, then it will basically end at this point, at that crate, so yeah. I don't know, I just found that it leaves you in a pretty compromising position personally, but yeah, I just shoot more grenades. It might not be the best, most effective way of doing it, but yeah. But yeah, I end up using the Electrodriver there, because I just think it's the simplest, easiest way to do it. And that guy is still trying to hit me with that long-range ice attack. Now, there's another thing that they can do, and it's kind of an interesting thing. It's kind of like a harakiri. Yeah, that's it. Even though it's not really a harakiri, in the sense that it's not, like, apparently it's supposed to be just below the waist that you're supposed to cut yourself, but it kind of represents a harakiri, if that makes sense, in the sense that he kills himself and takes you with him with the, like, ice explosion that he does, which is pretty interesting. So they do have a much more varied moveset than they do in the Opera House level, but they are pretty much the same. The Stakegun isn't the most effective way of dealing with them, but at the same time it is, because like they tend to get close a lot, and they tend to get mixed in with the ninjas, who also like to get close. So you do need to be careful when dealing with these guys, as they're still pretty tough. You just have to approach them a little differently and just pray that the Stakegun hits them, as it just takes too long for the shotgun freezer combo to deal with them when there's tons of ninjas trying to kill you at the same time. Now, I blow that up to try and kill enemies, but I'm not sure how well I did there. So I bring out the shotgun because, yeah. And now I can use the freezer because, well, I have no choice really. Yeah, the freezer is a one-shot kill on most enemies, so always keep that in mind, especially when you're up against enemies that are tough. And there are going to be tough enemies that can resist, like, single hits. So make sure to utilize the freezer whenever you need to. Now, you want to stay away from this thing because you don't want it to blow you up, but yeah. The next checkpoint is over here, and it's pretty much the same thing again because there's more enemies coming your way. But this time they're all the ninja guys. Well, not the ninja guys, they're all the they're all evil samurai. That's it. They might have a different name, I don't know, but they are basically just a different variant of evil samurai, so yeah. And there's also guys shooting knives at me, or throwing knives at me, so this level is kind of like a shooting gallery from this point onwards, as there's just tons of enemies that are just, like, it's like you're in a shooting gallery because it's like through like a little barricade wall or something, like little windows that you have to shoot them out of, and they're a pretty long range, so you could consider it to be practice with the Stakegun in a way, and it kind of is. But yeah, there's other enemies as well. There's another evil samurai coming over here with a naginata trying to hit me. But yeah, it takes them a longer time to set up that move. And if you see the animation coming, you know when to dodge it. So yeah, you can... Basically, in case you're wondering why I'm moving so quickly, there's a wind that constantly blows you backwards. So you really want to make sure you get the shotgun out and freeze all the enemies. Unfortunately, for some reason, like, I just got destroyed there because that freezed enemy just wasn't willing to get destroyed. I don't know why, but usually it is a one-shot kill. But yeah, anyways, you want to just go down here. I don't know how I fucked that up, but anytime now. Yep, there we go. And I kind of fucked this up and I fell down instead of landing on the ladder, but I still managed to get the secret. And yeah, there's just one more secret in this level, I think. And yeah, we're going up here, and there's some health if you need it, some Electrodriver ammo, and I like to go on the actual cable rather than just waiting for the cable car to take me there. But yeah, basically just get to see a nice little, or take a nice little ride on the cable car and take in the view, even though it's nothing but snow and blizzard. But yeah, it's like, it's just your usual alpine mountain sort of thing, really. But yeah, it is nice to take this little ride, but I just want to get through this quickly and take the cable up. The only thing you have to be careful with if you take the cable up is that you can easily fall off, so you want to be careful. But yeah, you can take the cable up there and you sort of kind of slide across the cable, which is amusing. But you want to go up to this section, which doesn't look like a snowy bridge to me, but yeah, this is where it ends. It's kind of like an observatory of some sort. And yeah, you want to get up here, jump down here, and we're going to be meeting another familiar face. Yeah, it's the Lokis from the, a Loki from the Opera House level. Yeah, pretty much. They're all from the Opera House level, but they're just different this time around. And yeah, you're going to be finding other enemies that are very similar in the sense that you met them in previous levels, but they've changed. It's a bit like the cathedral level with the kind of, well, not the cathedral level, but the evil monks from the cathedral level. They're kind of different from the other level. Like, they've got a different colour scheme in a way, but yeah, if that makes sense. Like, similar enemies but different. I'm actually not sure if they have the same kind of... I'm not actually sure if they have the same AI, actually. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, more Lokis appear, which I like to call oversized head crabs. But there's no spiders in this level for some reason. Though there's plenty of Lokis, and yeah, they'll basically charge at you. They're basically just like the amputees, but yeah, this is where you can put the Electrodriver to good use and just shoot them before they get close. It's a lot faster way of dealing with them than the shotgun, so yeah, they're just going to keep coming, just keep firing, and yeah, if you conserved enough Electrodriver ammo, then you can use the Electrodriver combo, but I don't have enough ammo to do that. I think you need at least like 100 or so. I'm not sure actually how much you need, but I don't bother trying it. I just wait for the streams of Loki to come and just shoot them with the Electrodriver's shurikens, and then I just shoot them with the electric. It's an effective way of dealing with them, especially since they're smaller enemies. Smaller enemies are usually one of the best enemies to use the Electrodriver on, especially if they're up close and personal enemies, because it's a bit more difficult to hit them with the shotgun. So of course you can use the Stakegun if you're good with it. So you don't have to use an Electrodriver, but if there's tons of them, yeah, it's advised that you do use the Electrodriver. And yeah, there's just more coming. As you can see there, like, it's probably better to use the Stakegun than the shotgun for them because they were further away. Anyways, yeah, that's the end of the level. So yeah, I think, like, I didn't mention that the last secret, but I did get that secret. It was the armor at the back. But yes, that's Snowy Bridge, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.